I'm getting married in 2 weeks and I am totally screwed. I literally need to get this off of my chest. I feel like I'm going insane. My fiance, let's call her Sarah, 28-year-old female, and myself, 34-year-old male, have known each other for about 6 years.
Illegal.
Illegal? Illegal!
God.
Engaged for 1. Our wedding is scheduled to take place in just 2 weeks, and I just witnessed something that is making me feel like I am making the biggest mistake of my life.
You don't say.
Tonight, Sarah and I were taking the rare opportunity to relax at home. She was in the kitchen making dinner while I was out back working on one of my projects.
Why are you
We live
making
on
dinner,
an acreage.
bitch?
Yeah, make some fucking dinner, bitch. We live on an acreage, and I am building us a pagoda/fire pit in the backyard that we are planning on using this fall. Anyway, as you do when you're doing heavy labor, I got thirsty and came back to the house to get a drink, where I see Sarah on the counter preparing dinner and talking on the speakerphone. I recognize the voice instantly as her brother-in-law, Marty. Now, this is where my brain gets totally twisted. Marty asks Sarah if she's seen her sister, Evelyn, as he's been trying to get in contact with her, and she's not answering any texts. I hear Sarah say to him, "Oh, she just left here. She should be home in a half hour or so." It should be noted that Evelyn is Marty's wife of the past 5 years. I have to admit that I immediately didn't register what she had said because I went into the kitchen and grabbed a glass and asked Sarah, "What was all of that about?" And she responds, "Oh, Marty was looking for Evie." I then see her texting and I ask her, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Oh, I'm texting Evie that Marty was looking for." Anyway, I poured myself a drink, sat down, had a sip, and then my brain finally began to work. First off, I heard Sarah tell Marty that Evelyn was here. Evelyn was not here. And the last time we saw her was yesterday, when she came over to work for some last-minute wedding decoration stuff with Sarah. Secondly, why is she texting Evelyn and expecting a response when I distinctly heard Marty say that Evelyn wasn't answering her texts? Lastly, why the hell would she tell Marty that Evelyn should be back in 30 minutes unless she knows where she is, or she is right now in front of me texting her to tell her to get her butt home quickly? That was a weird sentence. I'm sorry.
That's a weird sentence. I understood what you meant.
Yeah. The only conclusion that I came up with is that Sarah was lying to Marty about the whereabouts of her sister and is probably warning Evie that Marty is expecting her home in half an hour. I then spent probably the next 5 minutes concocting various explanations for this behavior, some decent and some downright horrible, and playing them back in my head. I really badly wanted to ask Sarah about this, but at the same time, if I think what is going on is actually going on, then I doubt that I would get a straight answer from her. Which brings me to about an hour ago. I woke up around 1 a.m. to use the toilet, and I couldn't resist the urge to check Sarah's phone. We both know each other's pins, so this wasn't a difficult thing to do. Anyway, I grabbed the phone, retreated to the bathroom, and unlocked it, and yep. It was exactly what I was afraid of and probably what most of you were expecting. Sarah's sister Evelyn has been having an affair for about 6 months with a coworker, and Sarah has been helping Evelyn cover it up for almost the entire time.
Oh,
Don't like that.
That's tough.
There are literally hundreds of texts between them discussing it, discussing the coworker, discussing sex things, really embarrassing things about my brother-in-law, and just stuff that makes my stomach churn. And here is my soon-to-be wife going along with all of it without even batting an eye. I took some screenshots of the entire thread, put the phone back where I found it, and then retreated to my home office to find myself here, typing it all out on Reddit, simply so I can avoid the primal scream that wants to come out of my mouth right now. Reddit, I am totally 100% screwed. I cannot marry Sarah. I just can't do it now. I can't think of any reasonable excuse she could offer me about assisting her sister in this affair and victimizing not only Marty, but their 2-year-old daughter as well. On the other hand, myself, my family, Sarah and her family have all sunk an enormous amount of money into this wedding that is supposed to happen in about 2 weeks. There is no way that we are getting any of that money back. And on top of that, I feel like an absolute fool. Like, how did I not know this woman was like this? What the hell am I going to do? I can't marry her. However, I still want to. She's beautiful, fun, and kind. And I thought we had a bright future ahead of us. She's never done anything wrong to me, but I just can't see her the same now. It's like a big black stain on an otherwise beautiful picture. Why's it got to be black?
I think it's
Strange
just an
choice of words,
expression.
brother. What the fuck was that? Just a big stain? It could have just been a big stain. Anyways. I just don't know how the fuck I got this so wrong, and I'm absolutely dreading doing what I need to do. I feel like I want to vomit or break something. Updates begin. Do you want to say anything now before we get into it?
Yeah.
This dude knows what he needs to do,
I mean,
and that's leave her ass.
I would, before I did anything like call off the wedding, I'd have a conversation with her and like let her know that I know to see if she has some sort of, reason as to why. It would be one thing if she just found out and was covering for her just so that her sister could let her know on her own or something like that. But you said it's been,
6 months.
hundreds of messages and 6 months. So
Yeah.
there's very few excuses she could give to, make that make sense. But at least talking to her and giving her the option to come clean to you is something. But yeah, other than that, that's a tough one because they could do the same thing to you in 3 years. You know what I mean? And if anything, your wife or your fiance has blackmail on her sister, so she'll never tell anyone. So yeah, that's a tough situation, but yeah, you know what you got to do, I think.
Yeah, my conversation would be very short. It's like, did you know about this or not? If it's a yes, peace out. If they deny it, peace out.
Yeah.
Is there any, because I'm trying to think of like, is there any circumstance? And I just,
No.
unless this guy was like a danger to
Abusive.
them and the daughter.
Yeah,
But you would think that would be in the hundreds of texts.
you would think so.
Yes.
Like you think OP would have read that and been like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, instead of making
need
fun of
a-
him and
yeah, we need to arrest Marty. But it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like Marty's kind of innocent so far.
And OP would probably know the dynamic of their relationship.
you would
'Cause,
think, but
You would
he doesn't
think.
even know the dynamics of his own relationship, to be honest.
It's true,
true.
apparently.
That's true.
But, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like what Josh said. I wouldn't trust your fiance either, just because they can do the other way around, where the sister's gonna be covering for her fiance next time
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah, that's like
You know what you need to
6
do, brother.
months of lying to
Mhm.
you
To
as
you
well.
too. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. All right, let's get into the first of 9 edits.
Oof.
Oh my God.
Some of these are short, some of them are very long.
Okay.
So we'll go. All right, guys, you do not need to convince me to not marry Sarah. That's obvious. The wedding is off. I'm just trying to figure out my next steps and work up the nerve to do it. There's an incredible amount of pressure on me from the expectations of everyone, but I'm not going to buckle under it. I just am not relishing having to deal with the fallout, and I'm more than a little angry that I'm even in this situation. It's 5 a.m. I have work in 3 hours, and I'm running off of just a couple hours of sleep. I'm going to take a shower, head into work early to avoid Sarah, and stew on all of this. Thank you to all the supportive people here, and a big raspberry to the dill holes who keep saying I should figure out whatever good reason my soon-to-be ex-fiance had for this garbage. Edit 3. I just got to work around 7. No one was in the office, so I decided to start pulling off the Band-Aid, and I called my brother. He lives in Australia, and so he was still up after having just put his kids to bed. It was hard breaking the news to him about this because I know has laid out a huge amount of money for flights for him and his family to come. But to his credit, as an older brother, he didn't mention it once, and he just backed me up.
I was going to say, if your brother comes to you with that, you just got to be like, yeah, I'm here for you. Like, it'd be pretty shitty for you to be like, well, I paid all this money.
I mean, honestly,
how would you think the brother would react, Sean, in an Australian accent?
No.
I just put shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh no,
I just threw another shrimp on the Barbie. Guess we just got to come to America anyways.
That turned British quick.
I honestly, to this day, do not know the difference. It sounds the same to me. It's bad.
I remember growing up, there'd be like these early tweets like, if you want to sound Australian, just say rise up lights. And it's like saying razor blades.
Rise up lights.
Rise up lights.
Yeah.
I need to listen to more Chris Hemsworth interviews.
Yeah, just don't stare at his body, Sean.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that I just stare at it like it's a picture. It's crazy. He made a great point too. He said, and I'm totally paraphrasing here, you work in a job where you have to deal with liars and scammers day in and day out. I don't blame you for wanting to have somewhere to go where this isn't a concern. And he's totally right about that, and I get now why I am reacting so strongly to Sarah's participation in this deceit. He also had a great idea. He was going to take his family down to Florida to do some sightseeing and visit the parks. Well, now the kids will be accompanied by their uncle as well. It should be easy since we were going to honeymoon there as well, and we were planning on meeting them for a little bit anyways. I'll just rebook everything to be a little bit closer to him and his family, and I'll offer Sarah's ticket to either my sister or another family member. Nice. I haven't had time to read everyone's comments, but I have answered a few. Right now, I'm just sort of making myself sick by drinking cup after cup of coffee and trying to distract myself until the day gets on enough to where I could reach out to Marty. Edit 4. Just did morning stand-up. My stomach is doing flip-flops from drinking about 2 pots of coffee since I got in here.
Holy
that can't be good.
No, that can't be.
And I
can't be helping with the anxiety either.
No.
Nah, this dude's heart rate is probably like 190.
I absolutely cannot focus or concentrate. I feel like I can't do anything from my side until I tell Marty what I know. So I'm just going to take a sick day, drive over to his house, see if he's around, and if not, I'll call him and track him down. Marty is a teacher who is on a break right now, and Evelyn works a 9 to 5 like me, so odds are good this works out. Wish me luck, Reddit. Edit 6.
Respect on doing it face to face, by the way.
Also respect for just being straight up. Like, as soon as you found out, you're trying to tell him. Like, that's what you should do.
Yeah. Got to Marty's house a little after 10 a.m. He had just put his daughter down for a nap, and we had a long, frankly brutal talk in the kitchen. Basically, he has suspected this for a couple of months now, but Evelyn has been very good at covering her tracks, obviously with the assistance of Sarah and a couple of their mutual friends.
Damn, bro.
Terrible friends. Jesus.
I unfortunately do not have all 6 months of text messages, just a couple dozen screenshots I sent to myself from Sarah's phone. But I gave him also, did he like text that to himself?
Probably airdrop.
Oh, airdrop, smart. But I gave him what I have and offered to help him however I could. I am a field analyst in the SIU department of a mid-sized insurer specializing in workers' comp fraud, so I know a few things and I know a few people. Anyway, I'm now working from my laptop in my almost brother-in-law's kitchen, trying to salvage whatever I can. I'm going to try to talk to Sarah this evening and get the word out as fast as I can to my friends and family, now that I know I won't screw Marty over. So far, I've managed to rebook most of the honeymoon, although I had a problem with the ticket because Sarah was flying under her maiden name, and our carrier has a surname rule for name changes. Anyway, they did allow me to cancel and get a partial refund and rebook it to my sister, who will be accompanying her 2 brothers and nieces to Florida in a couple of weeks. I'm holding off on canceling the venues until after I talk to Sarah because I don't want to tip anyone off until Marty gets his chance to confront Evelyn. But I will absolutely be letting my family and friends know this afternoon sometime and beg them to keep it close. I'm basically in a frenzy right now canceling stuff I can cancel, and I'm heading down to the bank in a few to open a new bank account and getting my bills/pay sorted out. Some people have mentioned the finances, but it should be good. The mortgage is in my name since we are not married, and I have a bigger income, but Sarah did contribute about $20K versus my $60K towards the down payment. I will have to probably pay her that money and some portion of the mortgage payments over the last 16 months, but it could be worse. Edit 6.
Flying through these.
We're getting it. We're getting there. Edit 7 is a doozy.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Edit 6. I'm going to go silent for a while. This post has already been circulating around TikTok and has gone way, way beyond what I ever thought it would when I was freaking out.
It will resurface again in 3 months, buddy.
It wasn't us this time.
First off, I want to say something here. I do not hate Sarah. I don't approve of what she did. I frankly find it repulsive, and I'm shocked by uncovering how two-faced she can be and how she treats people, but I don't hate her. I'm just incredibly sad about everything, and the I'm screwed part of my post is really the short time frame I have to work under. Basically, our relationship is in a state where I cannot get married to her, but we're supposed to get married in 2 weeks. Maybe if we had 2 months, or better yet, a year or so to work through this, my approach might be vastly different, but I don't have that luxury. I have to move now. There's just no way I can enter into this marriage with the state of our relationship, so I'm not going to. I will report back later tonight with how everything went today. Hopefully, it will be less traumatic than I am anticipating.
Oh,
Edit 7.
this is the big one.
The long one.
Ooh.
I have no idea how long a Reddit post can be, as I've never written such a long one before in my life. So
Now you know.
It's a good
I hope
start.
this goes through. It's about 8:30 p.m. right now, and I'm writing this from my buddy's house. His name is Mark, and a former coworker of mine that is also in the same field of work. As I mentioned in a previous update, I work as a field analyst in the SIU department of a decent-sized insurance carrier. For people who don't know what that is, I'm basically a private detective. My job is to investigate what we think might be fraudulent claims in regards to workers' comp. Anyway, as I kind of hinted at, Marty asked for my help in finding out who the other guy was that Evelyn was cheating on him with. All we had to go on was his name. Let's call him Jake.
From State Farm?
From the
Peralta.
insurance company, it all comes back
Oh,
around.
he works at insurance. Yeah.
Also, so weird how Jake from State Farm is a celebrity. That's
Is he?
still so weird to me. He's in commercials. He's at award shows.
He's always been in commercials. That was
well, I mean,
Yo, Sarah.
but like in other things than the initial Jake from State Farm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Commercial.
Hey, yo, Sarah really hit us with what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Like legit at 3 a.m.
God damn. The first thing I did was not some major amount of sleuthing. It was basically just going through LinkedIn, trying to find the guy through Evelyn's connections, but that brought up nothing, which I thought was strange. Marty had told me that Evelyn was supposed to go out for drinks tonight after work, and that she said she wouldn't be home until around 8 or 9 or around 9 or 10. He didn't have to tell me what he suspected since I pretty much understood right away. I told him that I would help him, but he needed to come with me. I then contacted my buddy Mark, explained the situation to him, and had him agree to meet us later in the day. The first thing we did was drive over to Marty's parents' house so that they could watch their granddaughter. I don't know what Marty told them as I waited in the car. After that, we went to Evelyn's place of work. It's one of those large commercial strip mall type centers with all of these nondescript offices in a row and a large non-gated car park. We drove around until we found Evelyn's car, and then I had Marty unlock it with the second set of keys. I then gave Marty a voice-activated recorder and a GPS tracker to place in the car. This guy is Batman.
Jesus. I was gonna say, I could see this being like a buddy cop kind of movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Once done with that, we left, parked a bit down the street, and waited for my friend to arrive and for Evelyn to leave the business. Mark shows up about 20 minutes later, hops in the car with us, and about an hour after that, Evelyn comes out of her office with two of her girlfriends and a tall, younger-looking man with sandy blonde hair. They are obviously holding hands, and I'm like, damn, Evelyn, you're making it kind of easy for me. I take a couple of pictures from the car. God damn, this is crazy. And then
Hey,
wait.
He's a professional, bro.
Private investigator.
I just know he got that motherfucking long. What do you call that? Those
the DSLRs, the
lenses?
The lens. Yeah.
Did y'all watch Arrested Development?
I did.
Did y'all watch that? What is it with the PI? He's always in really bad disguise. Was that Jean Parmesan or something?
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Some stupid shit. What a great show.
I take a couple pictures from the car and then wait for Evelyn to leave in hers, and then I start tracking her. At first, I thought she might go right to a hotel or something, but she didn't. Instead, she drove to a reasonably nice bar and grill in a nice section of town and parked on the street. I drove by her as she was getting out of her car and entering the establishment, and then found my own parking spot and went over the plan. First, we sent Mark in, since no one knew him. He basically had two jobs. First, try to get any compromising pictures he could of Evelyn and Jake. And second, to be my alibi. Marty and I waited in the car for about 20 minutes until I got the first in the series of text messages from Mark. There were pictures of Evelyn and Jake making out in front of the other two female coworkers.
They just know.
At a Chili's, bro.
I was going to say Chili's.
Oh, man. Also, another sponsor I would fucking love to have.
They're feeling real good.
Yeah.
We've talked about them a whole while. They feel God in this Chili's.
Well, they're feeling
Satan.
something else. Yeah.
Marty's suspicions were right. They were helping Evelyn hide the affair from him. He was obviously very upset and angry. Evidently, one of the coworkers is married, and as a couple, they are good friends with Marty and Evelyn, both of them
That's
having
wild.
toddlers around the same age.
That's crazy.
Yeah. How is everyone so cool with this?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I asked Marty if that's enough for him, but he says he still really wants to know who this guy is. I try to tell him that we can find out later, but he's practically begging me at this point, so I tell him to wait. Text Mark that I'm coming in and then enter the bar myself. First thing I see is Evelyn and her crew laughing and drinking at one of those tall round tables near the front window as I enter. I stop for a moment, pretend to be surprised, and then call out to Evelyn. Evelyn, hi. What are you doing here? She's obviously shocked to see me, and everyone around her tenses up immediately. Evelyn quickly introduces me as her sister's fiancé and says that we are getting married in 2 weeks. There are a lot of congratulations from everyone. I thank them and stick out my hand to the blonde guy and introduce myself with my full name, hoping that he'll respond in kind. He does. And I'm a bit taken aback, as his name is not Jake.
From State Farm.
From State Farm. I
That's his
introduced
full
myself.
name.
Yeah. First name Jake, last name from State Farm.
From State Farm.
I introduce myself to everyone else and then tell Evelyn that I'm here to meet a coworker. I wave to Mark and then excuse myself. Once I get over to Mark, I tell him the guy's name and we both whip out our phones and start to go to work. It doesn't take long for us to find him. He's got social media profiles and a couple of court case judgments against him. Oh, yikes.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Everything sort of falls into place when we find out that Jake is actually his middle name. At this point, I'm basically just grateful that Evelyn isn't cheating on Marty with two different coworkers. Turns out that Jake is 26, married, and has a 1-year-old daughter.
Wild.
And all of these people are just cool with this. What the fuck?
How many marriages are in this?
What is
Oh
this
my
office?
Y'all live in a small ass town or something? Because this is weird.
It's weird.
It's crazy.
This keeps getting worse. Anyways, I text Marty the guy's name and I decide I want to push my luck and tell him to wait a few more minutes. Basically, I'm playing babysitter here at the bar. I'm totally visible to Evelyn and her crew. I could see out of the corner of my eye that no one is particularly happy about this and that my presence is really ruining the night. Good.
Yeah.
I let this go on for about 10 minutes and then tell Marty to text Evelyn that he's spending the night at his parents' house with their daughter. It doesn't take long after that until I catch Evelyn taking out her phone, showing it to Jake, and then everyone else deciding to pack it up. Evelyn comes over to me, says goodnight, and asks me if Sarah and I want to come over for dinner this weekend. I smile and say, that sounds like a great idea, and wish her and her coworkers a good night. Mark and I wait for them to leave. We then pay our bill and hurry back to awaiting Marty. There's a bit of hesitation here because we don't know exactly what Evelyn was going to do. Like, I half assumed she might have already booked a hotel room and was heading there, which would have made everything a lot more complicated and limited what I could do. But it turns out that tonight was probably meant to just be drinks at the bar, and it wasn't until Marty decided to spend the night at his parents' that it turned into something more. Evelyn made a beeline for home, and we followed her way out of sight and parked down the street. It didn't take long after that for another car to pull into Marty's driveway, and we saw Jake get out, go up to the door, knock, and be greeted by Evelyn. Then they went inside together.
Crazy.
Now at this point, it's about 7:30 p.m. and I have my own stuff to do tonight, and I think that as a friend, I've done pretty much all I can do for Marty, and he can handle the rest himself. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, definitely, but I don't want to get any more involved in this drama than I already am, and being the wingman for him while he confronts his cheating wife is a bit much for me considering my situation.
Would have loved to be there.
No, but fair enough. Fair enough. He's got to deal with his own relationship too.
Yeah, he's got to talk to.
Fair,
Yeah.
come on.
Also, Mark-
you don't want to see
You're at the
things
finish
go
line,
down.
brother.
Come on. You ran most of the marathon already. Finished the goddamn race.
Give him at least a
Finish the
wire and a
story.
camera. You know what I mean? A body cam.
Yeah,
some
put
kind
it
of-
on. Put it on his pockets or some
Yeah.
shit. You use the same damn method you use for the car.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Damn.
My God.
Marty says it's fine and that he'll do the rest himself. Guess he's more of a man than you thought, Evelyn. That was what was written. He goes to Evelyn's car, retrieves my gear, and we bid each other goodbye. That was almost 2 hours ago. I did get one text message from Marty saying it was done and he was going to his parents' house for real this time. But my phone hasn't been blowing up, so I don't know what's been going on with Evelyn, and I've been at Mark's since then.
Jake's dead.
I think that basically... Who?
I was gonna say it's like that sounded like a hit.
Yeah, it did
is
sound
done.
like a murder.
It's been done.
Super ominous.
I think that basically concludes my part in Marty's story. If he was smart, listen to my advice. He was recording with his phone when he entered the house. I'll find out later. Anyway, my biggest priority now is to head home and tell Sarah that the wedding is off. She's almost 100% going to take it badly. There is no way that she won't, but like I said, I just can't get married to her right now. I don't know what the future holds for us or if we will be done with each other or not, but we definitely are not getting married anytime soon. Also, for people who keep saying, why didn't you talk to her first? Why didn't you confront her? I have to say, are you stupid? She stone
Yes.
cold lied in front of me to her brother-in-law that she has known for about 10 years and supposedly thinks is a great husband and father. Maybe you are naive to think that someone can lie that coldly to someone they are supposed to care about and then tell you the truth, but I'm not wired that way. Until that moment, I never had cause to second guess Sarah or not trust her. She was literally untrustworthy in front of my face, and I'm supposed to let that slide or expect her to be honest to me now? I guess you don't know what it's like to have your entire view of someone shift in an instant. It's disorienting and frankly, a bit panic-inducing. I'm actually impressed that I kept my head and followed my instincts instead of pressing her right away because it led me to the truth. It would have been ridiculously easy for her to lie to me and to delete those text messages, and if she had done that, then I never would have read the horrible thing she said, never seen how she could be so duplicitous, and so two-faced, and I never realized how little I actually knew about her. I'm going home to talk to Sarah. I'll update later to let everyone know what the final verdict is. I don't expect it to be a good one.
Just to defend, when I said to talk to her, I didn't know he was going to get this involved in the other half of the thing. So
yes, I mean,
thought he was just going to talk to her.
This took
and leave.
a turn, brother. This definitely took a turn.
I will say he's a better person than I for going this far and helping out his brother-in-law or his would-be brother-in-law.
Would-be brother-in-law.
Yeah.
True. I will be scorching earth if I find out like this.
Yeah.
Edit 8. Almost there, boys. Well, I had the talk with Sarah last night. It was pretty insane. I'm honestly burnt out and still exhausted, even though I took another sick day and slept in until almost 11:15. Sleep deficiency is real. I know everyone is thirsty for updates, but as much as it's therapy for me to write them down, I am absolutely drained, and as you may have noticed, I don't know how to be short. Just call it a character trait from my profession and the endless amount of minutia-filled reports I've written. I will give a TLDR, and I promise to do a proper update later. Long story short, and this is like the first of 7 paragraphs. I came home to talk to Sarah about canceling the wedding and found her comforting Evelyn on the couch. I almost turned around and walked out, but didn't. Words were exchanged, tears were had, people got really angry, and the cops were called.
What do you
Why
mean?
are they angry at you?
I don't know.
Yeah, don't TLDR this shit. Why were the cops called? I want to know what escalated this thing.
I collapsed later and fell asleep for like 10 hours, and my phone is practically glowing from the heat of a bajillion unread messages and missed calls. If it vibrates anymore, I'm going to take it to Evelyn's office and charge $10 a minute to sit on it. Stuff is really up in the air, and I have a lot to do today. My family already knew what was going on by yesterday afternoon, but I need to contact some friends today and give them a move on other things. I'm just going to answer a couple and then bug out to get stuff done. First, I'm not James Bond. I'm the guy that follows around the disabled construction worker to his Zumba class or skydiving lesson. I've been doing it for about 5 years and I'm pretty good at it. Nothing I did went beyond a $50 GPS that you could buy from Amazon and a tiny, tiny bit of social engineering. You might be surprised how far social engineering can get you, but whatever. Second, I am off the clock on the mysterious case of Marty and the Hobag Hobgoblin. Whatever Marty does with the info he has, including contacting the other wife, is on him. I am not interjecting myself into this mess any more than I already have. Marty is a good friend, but I have my own little world collapsing right now, and now that I don't have my moral indignation to distract me, it's becoming a bigger burden than I have been letting on. Third, I'm not an aspiring screenwriter or novelist. I do, however, have to write a lot of reports. You have no idea. Most of my life is actually spent hunched over a laptop working on a report or transcribing statements. For every hour I spend doing field work, I probably spend 10 doing paperwork or research. Fourth, you are right that I was wrong to leave Marty in to go do that alone. I didn't have any fear, not even an iota, that Marty would do anything stupid, but I didn't properly take into account the risk to him. That's a personal failing of mine. It's not that I don't care. I just tend to estimate that other people handle things like I do, and hence, Marty was doing something that I would do. And
it is done.
Yeah. So I didn't question it like I probably should have. I know this is a problem of mine and I'm working on it, but I'm not in the best place emotionally, so my IQ was kind of low in that situation. Lastly, people saying, you don't know the whole situation. What if Marty was an abuser? Yada, yada, yada. Nobody, you don't know the whole situation, but I do. I read 6 months of text messages.
Yeah. What a stupid argument, Reddit, you fucking idiots. What the hell?
Yeah. Immediately we were like, the worst possible thing would be he's an abuser, but he just read 6 months of text.
Exactly.
So obviously, probably not.
2 seconds of thinking, Reddit, and you'd fucking know the answer to that question. God damn it. People are so stupid sometimes. Oh, sorry.
This dude investigates for a fucking living.
Oh, Jesus. I just love when people assume they know better than you, who's experiencing it and has gone, like, what are you doing?
Who's in there? I know why Evelyn did what she did, and I know how she feels about Marty. I know how my ex-fiance played along with this. I'm not just sharing it because it's vile, but I know, and it played a big part in how I acted in the last day and a half. Trust me, if Sarah had done something, anything other than encouraging or egging on Evelyn, we'd probably not be here. But she did, so we are. Anyway, that's it from me. I will try to update again in the next few days with the whole fallout, but I am probably going to be mostly off of Reddit for now. Best of luck to everyone, and thank you all to the people who are backing me up. It meant a lot to me and kept me sane. Well, some semblance of sane anyways. Edit 9. I tried posting
Final edit. Let's go.
I tried posting an update to the subreddit under a new post because it's freaking huge, but Automod keeps eating it. Oh, okay. We could. Edit 9 is saying I tried to make these into many posts, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
so that's why they're edits. Okay, so really only 8 edits, but whoa.
Whew, man, that's a lot of field work that you had to
Yeah,
do.
I mean,
and that kind of sucks for the guy too, because he's like, he was going through all the emotions of trying to figure everything out logistically, and still, I would give him props. He still did the right thing, and kind of supported his brother-in-law, even though he says he didn't do it in completion. But I still think he did the right thing and made sure that he was also set up for success, even though it's kind of a bad thing to find out. But
yeah,
I feel for this guy, man.
Yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, he didn't go in the house with his brother-in-law, but it's like, I don't know. He's also not in the right state of mind. Like, why are you being hard on him in the scenario? He's one of the victims of this, kind of side victim anyway. His life's getting turned upside down. He's dealing with a lot as well. And his
whole world fell apart too.
Yeah. And he just executed this perfect plan of, let's get evidence for you, Marty, so that you can have the best case in court. So I think he did his part. Yeah, it would have been nice if he went in with him for sure. But again, he's not in the right state of mind. He's going through a lot. He just did a lot. And I think it's a lot to ask for him to, think rationally in that state. So yeah, I mean, good for OP for doing the right thing, helping out Marty and, calling it off with Sarah.
Yeah. Dude, being able to strategically plan something within like 2-3 days of not having any sleep and probably like so much thoughts like rushing through your brain, and you still managed to do that, dude, you must be really good at your fucking job.
Dude did this in under 24 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what 2 pots of coffee will do for you.
Holy shit. This has been a coffee ad this whole time.
Yeah.
Gotcha, patrons.
Get therapy.